In the course of the investigations, witnesses from current to ex-officers were interviewed, past documentation and records were looked at, and the investigations were thorough. The investigations found that, one, some of the allegations were true, and in respect of these, there had been investigations at the time the complaints were made, and actions had been taken at that time, and some officers had been disciplined, punished. And second, some of the allegations made by Uvaraja were untrue. After the police had completed their internal investigations, their findings were reviewed by AGC, and AGC was satisfied and determined that no further actions were needed. First, Uvaraja said that he had been ill-treated and bullied by his superiors and colleagues. First, on the name-calling, Uvaraja said that racially inappropriate language had been used against him. Police records show that Uvaraja had made this complaint in 2015. Internal investigations were conducted at that time. They found that the officers involved were talking amongst themselves. The remarks were not specifically directed to or aimed at Uvaraja, but, and this is an important point, the remarks were not acceptable at all. It doesn't matter whether they were directed at Uvaraja or they were not directed at Uvaraja. They were and are not acceptable, period. Uvaraja's superiors made that clear to the team that such language cannot be used even as a joke. The officer who made the remark apologized to Uvaraja immediately in front of the whole team. If he had not apologized, he would have been made to do so, and disciplinary action would have also been taken against him. Uvaraja's superiors continued to monitor the situation to make sure there were no further recurrences. Uvaraja was updated of the outcome of the follow-up, and his deputy commander had offered the option of lodging an official complaint, but Uvaraja decided that there was no need to file a further complaint. Since the incident, the police conducted a review of their policies, and there is a framework of approach for these cases. Cases involving racial slurs or casual racism will be investigated as possible misconduct as a disciplinary breach. This is to ensure that there is a record of such an incident and that disciplinary action would be taken and the officer's subsequent behavior would be closely monitored. Uvaraja also alleged that in 2019, his superior had shredded his leave form and uploaded a video of this action within a chat group. The context is this: Uvaraja had applied for discretionary time off. This does not require the submission of a leave form. Uvaraja sent this application at the last minute when other officers' leave had already been approved. Nevertheless, Uvaraja's superior approved his application, and it was not the first time that Uvaraja had done this, applying for time off at the last minute. On previous occasions, his teammates who were on leave had to be recalled to cover the manpower shortfall. In this case, when Uvaraja applied at the last minute again, the superior spoke to Uvaraja about him inconveniencing the entire team. But Uvaraja maintained his request for time off and asked the superior to end that conversation in the personal chat. The superior then shredded the leave form and uploaded a recording of him doing so on the team chat group. He said he did this because the form was not required for Uvaraja's time off application, which he had already granted in any case, and the form contained personal information and had to be disposed of. The superior's conduct was not professional. He should not have done that, even though one can understand his unhappiness. Uvaraja had raised this matter up the chain of command. The superior was then reprimanded, and Uvaraja was temporarily reassigned to a different unit so that both officers could have some time to cool off. Allegations were also made that different superiors had used abusive language against Uvaraja. This was not supported by the investigations. On the contrary, Uvaraja would often directly message or call his various superiors, and they had responded to him professionally. Uvaraja was told about the actions that had been taken, and he did not further pursue the complaints. Investigations found that Uvaraja had made a complaint in 2021 to his superiors about officers vaping. Acting on the information he provided, Uvaraja's commander had directed an independent superior from a different unit to conduct a surprise check. All the lockers and personal belongings within the police compound were checked, even though Uvaraja's complaint was directed only at a few specific officers. Officers concerned were interviewed as well. The complaint was not made up. Throughout this process, the identity of the whistleblower, in this case Uvaraja, was not disclosed to the independent superior nor the officers concerned. For context, in a separate incident in January 2023, Uvaraja reported fellow officers smoking within a different police compound. Investigations did find evidence of this. The officers involved were referred to the police's Internal Affairs Office for investigations, and disciplinary action was taken against them. So when the complaint is made out, disciplinary action is taken. When the complaint is not made out, he is told the complaint is not made up, no cover-up. Uvaraja claimed that he had been unfairly held back in his career and was given unfair performance appraisals. These are untrue. Uvaraja was given opportunities to apply for postings like his colleagues in the police land divisions. When Uvaraja asked to be transferred, his superiors had facilitated and acceded to his request wherever possible. At Uvaraja's request, he was transferred to 6 different work units in 9 years. Those who know about the police force will know that that is a significant number of postings. This is significantly more than what is normally given. 2 of his transfers were related to his whistleblowing on the alleged smoking offenses, because Uvaraja felt uncomfortable working with the colleagues against whom he had reported. On performance appraisals, investigations found that his performance grades were a fair assessment of his work contributions. He was also awarded the COVID-19 Resilience Medal. Uvaraja alleged that he had been treated like an outcast by his team. He said that he had invited his team to his wedding, but nobody had showed up. This was untrue. He had invited his officer in charge, OC. His OC had accepted the invitation, but was unable to attend as he had fallen sick on that day, and the OC had apologized to Uvaraja. Uvaraja had also informed his commanding officer, CO, about the wedding, but did not follow up with an invitation. Nevertheless, the CO had congratulated Uvaraja in front of his teammates. So in summary, police have done a review of the allegations. Findings of the case were also reviewed by AGC, and I have reviewed police and AGC's findings and assessment myself